Alright, look, I couldn't go to bed without making this video because the importance of this day has been weighing on me for quite some time, meaning the last few months. Um, and the thing that's bothering me most about this holiday, Juneteenth, is the fact that many African Americans still aren't observing this day. And most of us are not observing it properly. I'm going to keep it in layman's terms. I'm not going to start throwing dates. I'm not going to start naming people and all that stuff. I'm going to keep it simple, okay? Juneteenth is every bit as important to us as the Passover is to the Jews. I know most of y'all know what Passover is, right? On Juneteenth, the exact same thing happened. And matter of fact, it was the exact same God that set us free is the same one who set our brothers free many years ago, the Passover. So every bit as important. The bondage was the same, if not worse. The treatment, the rapings, the dehumanization, belittling us, the insults, exactly the same, if not worse. I know I said I wasn't going to throw out numbers, but through certain facts that was handed down, there was so many more of us enslaved than there was even in Egypt and the Holocaust. I've read in a few texts that there was as many as 100 million slaves lost in the slave trade, many of which jumped off ship, in the seas because they knew where we was going. They'd never been here before, but they knew what bondage was, and they thought to themselves, it is better to die than to live in bondage. That was their thinking. And I agree, actually, because although myself, I probably would have stayed because I knew that the others would have needed me. So I probably would have stayed with them, but I don't blame the brothers for jumping over shit. Now let's get back to it. This is the year 2026. Slavery began 1619. Some say 1666, which would explain it, but some say we've been in bondage for 460 years. Some say 490, but it really doesn't matter. It happened. And another thing that's angering me, besides Black people not celebrating this holiday properly, is the fact that this administration, this government, Trump's administration, is actually trying to erase that part of history because they don't want to face the fact that America is evil. I'm throwing it out there. Its inception is evil. Its blueprints was evil. Its laws were evil. If only, like President Obama said yesterday in his speech during his presidential library dedication, if only our forefathers had lived up to what they wrote, a lot of these things wouldn't be happening. He said that yesterday, and he's absolutely correct. And of course, feathers got rubber. I'm starting to get, white people don't like truth, do they? I mean, if you did it, you did it. Simple as that. And if they don't like that truth, why not do something about it? I'm not going through the reparations thing because I know that'll never happen because the United States ain't got enough money to pay us for what they put us through. But Um, they could do something. The president was about to hand out what 1.3 billion to the insurrection folks. They could do something like that for us. I mean, just even a little something. Here's a $5,000 check. This country can afford it. Look at what we just lost overseas in this Iran war. I know I said we're gonna get into numbers, and you Google it. Google it. You can see how much was lost. But getting back to this holiday, black people, African Americans, it is paramount that you embrace this day because we finally got it to be a national holiday, and instead of celebrating with some urgency, if not celebrating at all, we just kind of sit at home like it's a day to be off work. We don't even do nothing. There's celebrations in our parks, around the country. A lot of them are first year celebrations and things of that nature. We ain't going. We sitting at home. Girl, let me get my hair done. Dude, let's smoke some. Let's hit the street. No, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing on this day. I'm going to take the attitude of Joshua when Moses handed him the mantle. When he said, as for me and in my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And likewise, as for me and in my house, we're going to observe Juneteenth. And I've made it clear to my children and my grandchildren that this day will be celebrated until God turns out the lights. That's an order. That's a command. That's a, whatever it is you want to call it, coming down from the grandfather. I'm the grandpa now. And I'm leaving that directive. And I know today's Friday, the 19th. I'm going to have the Juneteenth feast on Sunday here at my house. And I'm throwing down, ham. I got a roast planned. I got some fried chicken, all of our favorites. I'm throwing down on this feast over here. And we're going to celebrate it, man. We're going to celebrate it. But again, I'm just so disappointed at the lack of participation from black people. I know more white people celebrate Juneteenth than black people. And let me say this. I know a lot of you white people, I've met a few of you who are actually sorry for what, their forefathers did, with our forefathers. And I accept it. Because really, that's all we want. It's all we want. We don't want your stuff. Yeah, we try to obtain because of better lives for our family, but we don't want to take your stuff, and we don't want to take this land because we have a land, good old Mother Africa. But since we're here, we're going to celebrate our heritage, and our heritage begins with Juneteenth. So Black History Month in February, this is June, Black Music Month, but none of that can happen without Juneteenth. And let me say also real quick, Black history didn't begin with slavery. We have a glorious history. And I want you parents to teach it to your children because they're trying to erase it. They're trying to take away the books, the museums, the TV shows, the documentaries that used to come on as WFYI here in Indianapolis, but it's part of the PBS program, which they took off, And also, do your history. Read up on what happened in Greenwood, Tulsa. That's one of the most depraved. That I can't believe they did that, man. But look it up. Tulsa, Greenwood. Um, look it up. Um, Now, layman's term for the babies, teenagers, uh, grade school people. You know, the layman, the people without the divine understanding. Some of these black people claim to have. Slavery. It's brutal. Picking cotton. Didn't care what the temperature was. It could be 100 degrees, 70% humidity. No, what's it called? The dew point. It's when your dew point gets in the 70s, the heat is oppressive. It's tropical. You know, y'all know what tropical means back in, down there when there's no wind. It's not only just hot, but it's humid. Yeah, they had to get out there, sun up, sun down. You got water break when it was water break time, if at all. Okay, picking the cotton and the cages, the chains, the whips, the rapes, and I plead for you women about this because when Massa came into those quarters, you had to give it up. And if the husband or whoever tried to intervene, guess what? Yeah, they beat him or they killed him. Beat him or killed him. And the whips they use are the same whips they use to beat horses. Now, horse's skin can take it, ours can't. And I'm about to make another video to show you some of the scars. We got a authentic picture. Actually was taken in 1888 of this black man, his back. Show you what the whip will do to you if it doesn't kill you. Okay? Now for you youth, some of you from as young as newborn, 5, 6, 2, 3, 7, they didn't care. They could scoop you up out of your parents' little shack, go sell you to a different land, different white people you never met, whole surrounding, babies screaming, mothers screaming, crying. And all the father could do, God bless him, was just sit there with his head bowed, because if he intervened again, shot, whipped, or killed, or both, hung. It was brutal, y'all. And it was more brutal than what you think it was. But yeah, kids, you can't be sheltered from this truth. And I've been yelling at my daughter, kidding, because she didn't want her babies to watch the Roots movies and all this because she thought it was too graphic for her children. But I told her, guess what? We watched it at that age, and we came to understand. You don't want to send your children out into this world and this day without knowing that truth. You don't want to do that, because it's bad enough, like I just said, they trying to take it and erase it as it is. And then with you not wanting to teach them about it and then send them out here into this world makes it twice as worse. You can't keep that from them. If you don't want to be that graphic yet, because believe me, they'll find out when they get older anyway. Just like with all the other stuff, they'll find out. You can try to hide it and shield it and shelter them from it all you want. Eventually, they're going to find out. So my advice is to just sit them down and talk to them about it now. That way you can do it your own way, yourself, and in your own comfortable surroundings. It don't have to be told to them in the streets or in the school. But yeah, they could take you, sell you. There was nothing that could be done, nothing. And like the Jews, which we are a part of that as well, but the cry finally got up to God's ears, and he finally did something about it. Now, why it takes him so long, 400 years, whatever, to get around to it, only he knows. You can ask him yourself when you get there. I don't know, but I can tell you that heaven's time is different from our time. As Simon Peter told you in the Bible, he says, "Beloved, beware this one fact, that one day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years one day." So 400 years, if you do that math, would probably be, what, 11 hours? So those things to think about also. In closing, I want to say again, whoever you are, if you're Black, African American, whatever you call yourself, if you don't celebrate this holiday properly, shame on you. Why? Again, because, 4th of July is right after it, but you'll get your ribs. Oh, yeah, you go spend $500-$600 fireworks. Kids ain't got school clothes, but you'll spend $500 on them fireworks, won't you? You get the drinks going, liquor, yeah, $500-$600 on that too. You'll meet up at the park. Pookie there, Man, Shay, whoever. All them are there, having a good time celebrating this 4th of July. But Juneteenth comes around and it's like you're ignorant to it. Like you're ignorant to it. And you probably are, because you ain't trying to learn nothing. But I'm going to say this. and I'm going to get out of here. Through all the beating, torturings, the lynchings, the hot weather, like I told you, having to serve Massa hand and foot 24/7. Oh yeah, you had to get up out your bed too if he wanted something or needed something. He called your kids, hey. You'd have to come from him, and guess what? Even in your sleep, you had to hear him, or he'd beat you. But yeah, that and that's why we're so fond of pigs, because he would eat a pig. He would take what he wanted from the pig, and he would throw you the leftovers from it. That's why we've grown so fond of my mama. Oh my gosh, rest her soul. My mama would eat ears, tails. I even seen a snout once. Of course, the feet, whatever part the ham hock is, whatever part the ham is. That's why we've grown so fond of pigs. But anyway, imagine this. It's early, let's say this, June 19th, 1865 is when it happened, the Emancipation Proclamation. Let's say this. It's, let's say 5 o'clock in the morning, sun's about to come up. Your wife is nudging you because you know you got to get up, or you can't be late, or you know what'll happen. But anyway, she's nudging her husband, get up. He's reaching for his shoes. He's putting on his pants, beaten, tired, depressed, hopeless, you name it. And here comes one of your neighbors hollering, shouting, "We's free. We's free. You ain't got to get up and do no work no more." And he said, and I'm sitting on my bed, I'm the husband, I'm looking at my wife. This fool done gone crazy. You better get ready. Master gonna end up beating us off. If we lay to that field, go on out there and tell that fool to shut up. Let's get on out here for Master get on us. But he's going around, he's telling you, I'm telling you, we's free. The president signed this paper saying that all blacks in the South are free. And he like, boy, you better not be playing. I'm not playing. I wouldn't play with you. I wouldn't play with you. Imagine the joy that I'm feeling now. We free. We ain't got to go to the day what? Can you imagine that feeling? I want you, when you get away from this video, to imagine that feeling, what that was like for them. And then tell me why your lazy asses won't celebrate Juneteenth. Okay? Anyway, after that, this last part, what are we going to do now? Master said, get your stuff and get off my land. Where did they go? Can you imagine that part? What they do? They relied on Master for food and at least, the place over their head, even though things were, horrific there. Some stayed on as what we call sharecroppers, which means they agreed to continue to farm the land if they shared some of the profits, which I'm sure they got cheated out of, because they couldn't count. They were uneducated. They probably didn't know when payday was. They probably told them you get paid at the end of the year when it's supposed to be the end of the week. Yeah, those white men were some horrible, horrible creatures. Talk about demons. Hell, who need demons when you had those people? But anyhow, again, some stayed on. But most of us, like my grandmother and her grandmother, on both sides, they migrated north to Indianapolis, where we are now, Indiana, where we've been ever since. Because there was freedom up north. Actually, if you can get towards Canada, there was freedom up there, and many of us migrated, northward, whereas others didn't want to, or didn't feel like, or whatever the reason was, didn't want to take that trek up north, with their families, because without people like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, it was hard to navigate, that journey, with your family, your baby crying, because slave masters and dogs could hear that, babies crying and stuff, and they come and get you, and it was a tough decision. It was a tough decision. But I'm glad my great-grandmother made it. That decision, my great-granddaddy made that decision. Lastly, we are only, what's this, 2026? We're not that far removed from slavery. I'm going to be 59, which means I have 59 of those years. And you go back to when I was born, which was 1967, you realize slavery ain't been that long. My granddaddy was born in 1901. So guess when his daddy might have been born. I don't know, but I'm guessing if granddaddy was born in 1901, his daddy was probably born in 1860 something. And my granddaddy's granddaddy definitely was a slave, because he was 1865. You go back, 20-something years to that, you're talking, 1840, 1830? Yeah, so he was definitely a slave. So slavery's not that far away. My granddaddy, again, was born in 1901. So that's a generation above me. Because, see, you got me, my daddy was born in 1941, and my granddaddy in 1901. Not that far, y'all. Not that far. And they're going to tell us, oh, when you guys going to get over that? Never. Never. We owe that to our ancestors. Never. Because what y'all did to them, let me get out of here before I begin to act out of character. But I just wanted to come on here and say that I'm a minister and I want to stay in that place for now. So I'm going to get out of here, and I hope that when you guys reach this video, I know it's what, 25 minutes, damn, 25 minutes long. I want you to watch it. I want you to share it, because these are my personal feelings, and I know a lot of the men in this country feel exactly this way. A lot of black men feel this way, and it's probably what's fueling their anger, and the young brothers too. It's just stuck there, you know. So we have to celebrate this day. You got to celebrate this day, y'all, because if put yourself in this day, back in 1864, or no, 1865, you'd be happy as I don't know what. Okay, my grandson Reno wanted to shout, so I'm giving him a shout. His name is Reno McCorder Jr., so I'm giving him a shout. His sister Emaya, they're over spending the night because there is no summer school tomorrow for Reno, in observance of Juneteenth. Yay. But I'm going to get out of here. May God bless you all. May God keep you all until he reunites us all in that kingdom, which is shortly to come. That's whole nother video. I'll get on that later. But yeah, get right or get left. I'm out of here.